So good to see you. How are you doing?
Thanks
For talking to us today. I really appreciate it. So this award was given to you just last month. Talk a little bit about this. Was this a surprise to receive this?
Very, very much so. I've been working for Advocates for Highway and Auto Safety for many years on passing the graduated teen driving laws as part of MAP 21 for federal legislation, mandating it become a priority in every state. And then last month I received a phone call that they wanted to recognize me for my citizen advocacy, and I was dumbfounded and surprised.
Big honor, big honor.
So we have like 8 violations in less than an hour.
You've spent the better part of your career, though, advocating for safer roads for all of our residents. Why is this something that you're so devoted to?
More people in our county, unfortunately, die every year in traffic crashes than they do in homicides. But this became even a greater issue for me in 2008 when I lost my 15-year-old son, Ryan, in a traffic crash. And I realized that my work was not done, and I had to actually do more to try to make a difference.
When you go and speak at schools and you go talk to kids, do you tell them about your son, and what do you say to them about him?
Being a traffic professional, you think that you might be immune. My son went to more presentations than anybody else. However, this tragedy did happen to them, and what I explained to them quite simply is, if it can happen to me, then it most certainly can happen to you. And I try to get them to say, what are they going to do differently after they heard my story or we talked today that they weren't going to do before that. And those little things, I think, what will make a difference, just getting people to make aware that small changes could save their lives.
Obviously, every day that you do your job, I'm sure you think of your son, Ryan. Do you think that teen drivers today are better educated and better prepared to get behind the wheel when they do get their licenses?
No, I don't. And the reason why I say that is we have not been successful in fully engaging the parents and understanding the nature of the problem. They're tired of being the taxi cab driver. And parents don't recognize that, the #1 cause of death for teens is driving crashes. And we need to get through to them that it's a humongous responsibility. When I talk to kids in forums and teach in presentations, the kids come up to me and admit that the parents don't necessarily ride the full 60 hours that they're required to before they get their driver's license.
Are we seeing safer roads here, and are people becoming more aware?
Well, I think we're working towards that solution. We've been working with legislation that we passed last year to require seat belts by all occupants. Worked in Annapolis on that. We worked to pass the speed camera legislation that helped to give police officers those extra tools we need to get people to slow down and prevent those fatal crashes.
And also today we've got this that we didn't have so many years ago, and these kids are attached at the hip.
We worked very aggressively on cell phone enforcement that distracted driving caused. That's why when we did our cell phone enforcement, we tried to do a zero tolerance, especially around the schools, to try to break that connection and to let parents know that when the child takes this citation home that they were talking on their cell phone. They probably have family rules, but this is a way of reinforcing it. So it's not just writing the citation, it's also to get that message back to the parents that their children are driving dangerously. Between speeding, distracted driving, and people not wearing their seatbelts. We've identified those for many years as the primary causes why people die on our highway, and we're trying to make a difference there.
I can't think of a more egregious violation, a more dangerous violation than passing a school bus. I think this camera program, and we're going to stop this dangerous act from occurring.
And then finally, as you know, we just started our school bus safety program where we got automated enforcement on our school bus. And protecting our kids and preventing these crashes from occurring is hugely important to us. So we're taking that proactive step that we learned from speed cameras, and now we're using them on school buses to try to prevent these tragedies.
What goal do you see for yourself in the future as far as the next problem that we need to attack here?
What we have to do is mobilize more officers to make traffic a part of their daily responsibilities, and we take our 600 to 700 patrol officers and get them to do a little bit more, try to get them to commit to make a bigger difference. And I think overall we'll make our roadway safer, and we'll get people to come home every night, which is the #1 plan.